Atreyu went out into the street again, and wandered aimlessly about. He passed through neighborhoods where all the houses were small, and so low that he could reach up to the eaves, and others lined with mansions many stories high, the fronts of which were adorned with statues. But all these statues were of skeletons or demons, which grimaced down at the forlorn wanderer. Then suddenly he stopped stock still. From not far away he heard a raucous wail that sounded so plaintive, so hopeless, that it cut him to the heart. All the despair, all the desolation of the creatures of the darkness was all in that lament, which echoed back from the walls of distant buildings, until, in the end, it sounded like a howling of a scattered wolf pack. Atreyu followed the sound, which gradually grew weaker and ended in a hoarse sob. He had to search for some time. He passed a gateway, entered a narrow, lightless court, passed through an arch, and finally came to a damp, grimy backyard, and there, chained, lied a gigantic, half-starved werewolf. Each rib stood out separately, under its mangy fur. The vertebrae looked like the teeth of a saw, and its tongue dangled from its half-open mouth. Slowly Atreyu approached him. When the werewolf noticed him, it raised its great head with a jerk. A greenish light flared up in its eyes. For a time the two looked at each other without a word, without a sound. Finally the wolf let out a soft, dangerous-sounding growl. "Go away. Let me die in peace." Atreyu didn't stir. Just as softly he answered,
"I heard your call. That's why I came."
The werewolf's head sank back. "I didn't call anyone. I was singing my own dirge."
"Who are you?"
Atreyu asked, taking a step closer. "I am Gmork, the werewolf."
"Why are you laying here chained?"
"They forgot me when they went away."
"Who are they?"
"The ones who chained me."
"Where did they go?"
Gmork made no answer. He watched Atreyu from under half-closed lids. After a long silence he said, "You don't belong here, little stranger. Neither in this city nor in this country. What have you come for?" Atreyu bowed his head.
"I don't know how I got here. What is the name of this city?"
"It is the capital of the most famous country in Fantastica. More stories are told about this country and this city, more about any other. Surely you've heard of Spook City and the land of the ghosts." Atreyu nodded slowly. Gmork hadn't taken his eyes off the boy. He was amazed that this green-skinned boy should look at him so quietly out of his black eyes and show no sign of fear. "And who are you?" Atreyu thought a while before answering.
I'm nobody."
"What do you mean by that?"
"I mean that I once had a name. It can't be named anymore. That makes me nobody."
The werewolf bared his hideous fangs for a moment, in what was no doubt intended as a smile. He was familiar with mental anguish of every kind, and sensed a certain kinship in the boy. "If that's the case, then nobody has heard me, and nobody has come to me, and nobody is speaking to me in my last hour." Atreyu nodded again. Then he asked,
"Can nobody free you from your chain?"
The greenish light in the werewolf's eyes flickered. He began to growl and to lick his chops. "You'd do that? You'd really set a hungry werewolf free? Do you know what that means? Nobody would be safe from me."
"I know, but I'm nobody. Why should I be afraid of you?"
He wanted to approach more, but again the wolf uttered his deep, terrifying growl. The boy shrank back.
Don't you want me to set you free?
All at once the werewolf seemed very tired.
You can't do that. But if you come within my reach, I'll tear you to pieces, my boy. That would delay my end an hour or two. So keep away from me. Let me die in peace.
Atreyu thought it over.
Maybe I can find you something to eat. I'll look around.
Slowly Gmork opened his eyes. The greenish fire had gone out of them.
Go to hell, you little fool. Do you want to keep me alive until the nothing gets here?
I thought that maybe if I brought you food, and you were full, I could get close enough to take off your chain.
Gmork gnashed his teeth.
Do you think I wouldn't have bitten through it myself if this were any ordinary chain?
As though to prove his point, he clamped his jaws on the chain. The chain jangled and he tugged and pulled after it. After a while he let it go.
It's a magical chain. Only the person who put it on can take it off. But she will never come back.
Who is that?
Gmork whimpered like a whipped dog. It was some time before he was calm enough to answer.
It was Gaia, the Dark Princess.
Where has she gone?
She has leapt into the nothing like everyone else around here.
Atreyu remembered the mad dancers he had seen outside the city and the foggy countryside.
Why did they run away?
Because they had given up hope. That makes you beings weak. The nothing pulls at you, and none of you has the strength to resist it for long.
What about yourself? You speak as if you weren't one of us.
Gmork watched him out of the corner of his eye.
I am not one of you.
Then where are you from?
Don't you know what a werewolf is?
Atreyu shook his head.
You only know Fantastica. There are other worlds. The world of humans, for instance. But there are creatures who have no world of their own, but are able to go in and out of many worlds. I am one of those. In the human world, I appear in human form, but I am not human. And in Fantastica, I take on the Fantastican form, but I am not one of you.
Atreyu sat down on the ground and glazed at the dying werewolf out of the great dark eyes.
You've been in the world of humans?
I've gone back and forth between their world and yours.
Gmork!
Atreyu stammered, and he couldn't keep his lips from trembling.
Can you tell me the way to the world of the humans?
A green spark shone in Gmork's eyes. He seemed to be laughing deep inside.
For you and your kind, it's easy to get there. There's only one hitch. You can never come back. You'll have to stay forever. Do you want to?
What must I do?
Atreyu asked. His mind was made up.
What everyone else around here has done before you, you must leap into the nothing. But there's no hurry, because you'll do it sooner or later in any case. When the last parts of Fantastica go.
Atreyu stood up. Gmork saw that the boy was trembling all over. Not knowing why, he spoke reassuringly.
Don't be afraid. It doesn't hurt.
I'm not afraid, but I did not expect to get my hope back in a place like this. And it's all thanks to you.
Gmork's eyes glowed like two thin green moons.
You have nothing to hope for, Sonny. Whatever your plans may be, when you turn up in the world of humans, you won't be what you are here. That's the secret that no one in Fantastica can know.
Atreyu stood there with his arms dangling.
What will I be? Tell me the secret.
For a long time, Gmork neither spoke nor moved. Atreyu was beginning to fear that the answer would never come, but at length the werewolf breathed heavily and spoke.
What do you think I am, Sonny? Your friend? Take care, I'm only passing the time with you. At the moment, you can't even leave here. I hold you fast with your hope. But I speak. The nothing is creeping in from all sides and closing around Spook City. Soon there won't be any way out. Then you will be lost. If you stay and listen, your decision is already made. But you can still escape if you choose.
The cruel line around Gmork's mouth deepened. Atreyu hesitant for just a moment. Then he whispered,
Tell me the secret. What will I be in the world of humans?
Again Gmork sank into a long silence. His breath came in convulsive gasps. Then suddenly he raised himself on his forepaw. Atreyu had to look up to him. And then for the first time he saw how big and terrifying the werewolf was. Gmork spoke. His voice was like the jangling of chains.
Have you seen the nothing, Sonny?
Yes, many times.
What does it look like?
As if one were blind.
That's right. And when you get to the human world, the nothing will cling to you. You'll be a contagious disease that makes humans blind, so they can no longer distinguish between reality and illusion. Do you know what you and your kind are called there?
No.
Lies.
Atreyu shook his head. All the blood had gone out of his lips.
How can that be?
Gmork was enjoying Atreyu's consternation. This little talk was cheering him up. After a while he went on.
You ask me what you will be there. But what are you here? What are you creatures of Fantastica? Dreams? Poetic inventions? Characters in a never-ending story? Do you think you're real? Well, yes. Here in your world you are. But when you have been through the nothing, you won't be real anymore. You'll be unrecognizable. And you will be another world. In that world, you Fantasticans won't be anything like yourselves. You will bring disillusion and madness into the human world. Tell me, Sonny, what do you suppose will become of all the Spook City folk who have jumped into the nothing?
I don't know.
They will become disillusions in the mind of human beings. Fears where there is nothing to fear. Desires for vain, hurtful things. Despairing thoughts where there is no reason to despair.
All of us?
No. There are many kinds of delusions. According to what you are here, ugly, beautiful, stupid, or clever, you will become ugly, or beautiful, stupid, or clever lies.
What about me? What will I be?
Gmork grinned.
I won't tell you that. You'll see, or rather you won't see, because you won't be yourself anymore.
Atreyu stared at the werewolf with wide open eyes. Gmork went on.
That's why humans hate Fantastica and everything that comes from here. They want to destroy it, and they don't realize that by trying to destroy it, they multiply the lies that keep flooding the human world, for these lies are nothing other than creatures of Fantastica who have ceased to be themselves and survive only as living corpses, poisoning the souls of men with their fetid smell. But humans don't know it. Isn't that a good joke?
And there's no one left in the human world? Who doesn't hate and fear us?
I know of none. And it's not surprising, because you, yourself, once you're there, can't help working to make humans believe that Fantastica doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist?
The bewildered Atreyu repeated.
That's right, Sonny. In fact, that's the heart of the matter. Don't you see? If humans believe Fantastica doesn't exist, they won't get the idea of visiting your country. And as long as they don't know you creatures of Fantastica as you really are, the manipulators do what they like with them.
What can they do?
Whatever they please. When it comes to controlling human beings, there is no better instrument than lies. Because you see, humans live by beliefs, and beliefs can be manipulated. The power to manipulate beliefs is the only thing that counts. That's why I sided with the powerful and served them, because I wanted to share in their power.
I want no part in it.
Take it easy, you little fool. When your turn comes to jump into the nothing, you too will be a nameless servant of power, with no will of your own. Who knows what they will make you do? Maybe you'll help them persuade people to buy things they don't need, or hate things they know nothing about, or hold beliefs that make them easy to handle, or doubt the truths that might save them. Yes, you little Fantastican, big things will be done in the human world with your help. Wars started, empires founded. Yes. The human world is full of weak-minded people who think they're as clever as can be and are unconvinced that it's terribly important to persuade even the children that the Fantastica doesn't exist. Maybe they will be able to make good use of you.
Atreyu stood there with a bowed head. Now he knew why humans had stopped coming to Fantastica, and why none would come to give the childlike Empress a new name. The more of Fantastica that was destroyed, the more lies flooded the human world, and the more unlikely it became that a child of man could come to Fantastica. It was a vicious circle from which there was no escape. Now Atreyu knew it.